So recently I did a poll on my Instagram where I asked creators what their number one struggle is when it comes to their content business, and the overwhelming majority of people answered problems that boil down to one word, and that is exposure. So a lot of people are willing to do work for free or cheap in exchange for exposure, but the problem is just doing a job doesn't necessarily result in exposure, and just because you're reposted on an Instagram page also doesn't really result in exposure. So I think it's first important to just identify exactly what exposure means. So exposure defined is just the visibility, reach, and overall access that a company, aka you, has to its potential markets and customers. So in short, it's just how do you get in front of the brands that actually need you? So it sounds like we need a plan. And if your plan at the moment requires any amount of luck, then guess what? That's not a plan. So we need to get into exactly how to manufacture that exposure for yourself. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nash, and I'm a resort and brand photographer. And I also work with creators exactly like you who are stuck in that $3,000 to $5,000 a month range, looking to scale to at least 10,000 plus. And I do it through a process I call precision prospecting, which I'm going to kind of be going over in this video as well. So if that sounds like you and you want to work with me directly, I actually have a link below this video that you can schedule on a call, or shoot me a DM if you have any questions and we can go over it. So if you're just starting out, you probably don't know what kind of brands you want to work with or what kind of problem you can even solve for them. So that's really step one. Just go out and shoot, find what you like, find what you don't like, and then use this Venn diagram here to kind of narrow in on if it's something that's actually sustainable. So number one, is it something you actually enjoy? Number two, is it something that a market is actively spending money on? And number three, is it sustainable, meaning you could do it for 10 years from now? So I'm going to give you two different examples, one good and one bad of what this could look. So the first example is landscape photography. This is something I was super into when I first got started, and it's something really for the first 2 years of my career I was really trying to make a living at. So it checked the box of something I love to do. It also checked the box of something that I would love to do long term and was sustainable in terms of me actually wanting to do it. But in terms of actually getting paid and having market viability, it didn't check that box, because although I could sell prints to like hotels or luxury real estate or restaurants or stuff like that, maybe even some magazine commissions, I realized that the market was pretty small to get into and honestly pretty tough to break into as well. So I kind of had to switch gears. So that brings me to number two, which is adventure lifestyle brand photography. So I realized that this is something I really like to do. It's something that's sustainable. I can do long term, 10 years from now. And also there's a growing market for it, meaning that people are actively spending money every single day because there's brands popping up every single day and everyone needs content. So I realized, wait, that's actually something I can get into. And then I realized the same about hotels and resorts as well. So once you have an idea of who you actually want to serve, then you have to go create a portfolio for it. And most people way overcomplicate this. All you have to do is go out and buy the product that would potentially fit the market you're trying to shoot for, shoot the demo content, and if you don't know what to shoot, just go on similar brands like Instagram page or their website, or look at the ads that they're running and just create stuff that's in a similar alignment with that in terms of style, storytelling, all that kind of stuff. Build out your demo reel, and now all of a sudden you have content that looks exactly like what you would be producing for the brand, so they can see that you're actually talented and can be able to do it. So now that we have an idea for the market, we move on to step two, which is figuring out what the pain point is. And this is the part that most people skip. So you have to be able to answer the question of why would someone hire you specifically? Because there's hundreds, even thousands of photographers that could potentially do the same thing that you do. So why would they hire you specifically? See, because business exists to solve a problem. And if you don't solve a problem, then you don't have a business. So what is that problem that we're actually solving? So the typical process most creators will do is they'll go in and they'll be like, okay, their Instagram content is not consistent, it's bad, whatever, or they look at the website, they're like, their content's bad. And those are all just symptoms. They're external things that you see, but they're not actually the real problem. How you find the problem is you look at that and you're like, okay, why does this symptom actually exist? And in order to do that, you have to get into the psyche of the client. What are they thinking? Why are they not consistent? Why is their content not good? That is the real problem. So let me give you a tangible example. So let's just say we go to a brand's Instagram, they're not consistent, their content's not great, their engagement's horrible, but in reality, they're actually making 90% of their sales over on Amazon. So all of their content, all of their marketing strategy is tailored towards making sales over there. So then the question becomes, well, what's their actual problem? Well, it's probably that they're paying out 8 to 15% commission on each sale to Amazon. So let me put that in perspective. Let's say that their average order value is $50. They're paying out, let's say on average 10% commission. You're looking at $5 for each sale. Now let's say that they make $100,000 in sales on Amazon every single month, which is not unreasonable. That's actually quite low for an e-com brand, but let's just say that for easy math, it's $100,000 times 10% commission. You're looking at paying out $10,000 every single month to Amazon. Now we take that 10,000, multiply it by 12 for the entire year, and they're looking at paying $120,000 every single year to Amazon, where they could be investing that into ads, into building their own brand, and also just selling on their own website. So that's a massive problem that you can solve with your content. Now, it's not the only example of problems. There's tons of problems that brands have, and that's just a specific example that I'm mentioning for this. But you want to get in the psyche of your client. Why do they do what they do? That's what you need to get to. So in this example, they don't really care about the content on their Instagram because they're so focused on trying to make sales on Amazon, but in reality, they're losing out on 120 grand a year. So investing in you two, they could potentially save thousands of dollars if you position this the right way. Let me show you how to do that. So step number 3 is where we manufacture this exposure so we can get in front of the brand that has that problem that we can actually solve. And to be honest, this is where most creator coaches are going to tell you to go build an audience, start posting on Instagram, start doing trends, etc. But the problem is you're going to grow an audience of people that are likely not the types of people that are going to make the decision to buy content from you. It's just going to be a bunch of random people on the internet. And if you by chance do get a few brands that actually follow you or actually see your content, either one, it's going to take them forever to reach out to you because it takes a long time to build an audience, or number 2, they're not going to find you in general. And this is coming from a guy that has over 100,000 followers on Instagram, and I can tell you that most of my deals are not coming through Instagram. They're coming through manufacturing my own exposure because it's so much faster, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So at this point, you should know the types of clients you serve as well as the common problems they suffer from. So now what I want you to do is find 100 brands that fit that exact demographic criteria. How do you do it? Well, look on Amazon, look on Google, look on Instagram, look up wherever it is. It really doesn't matter. So now that you have that spreadsheet list of 100 brands, then I want you to install a Chrome plugin like Snove.io or Hunter.io, or there's like hundreds of them, and just go through to the brand website or their LinkedIn and figure out who the decision maker is. So that's your brand manager or your marketing manager. Figure out the name of that person and then use those plugins to be able to figure out what their email address is. Sometimes some plugins are better than others on each person, so I usually have a few installed just so I can figure out exactly what that email contact is. Once you figure that out, I want you to put it in the spreadsheet. So now you should have a list of 100 brands, 100 marketing managers, as well as 100 contact emails. So now all that's left to do is actually write an email and reach out and manufacture that exposure for yourself. So I like to use the PAS method, which stands for pain, agitate, and solution. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. First thing to note is this is not a copy and paste email. This is extremely personalized to each one of these brands. So the first step is you have to show that personalization through the first line that you say. Again, we're not copy and pasting. We want to show that we put in the research, we put in the 10 seconds it takes to go on their Instagram, to go on their LinkedIn and actually mention something. And the key here is it really doesn't matter what you say. They just launched a new product. They just won an award. They just launched a new marketing campaign. They just got a new job. It does not matter. All that matters is that you show that you put in the 30 seconds of research it takes to figure out this information so that you can put yourself on top of the rest of the creators who are just sending copy and paste emails. If you want to actually have a conversation with a person, then have a conversation with a person. Actually talk to them. So now that we've personalized this email, now we got to show their pain. We got to be able to articulate it better than they can even articulate it themselves. If we can get into their psyche, tell them the pain that they're feeling better than they can even articulate themselves, then we start to create a message that resonates because they're like, wow, they're actually in my brain. They actually know what I'm going through. So now that we've exposed the pain, now we have to agitate it by saying why it's such a problem, why it's something that they can't afford not to fix. Problem is, most creators just say, hey, I'll go take some pictures for you. That's not solving a problem. That's just saying something you can do. So why is that problem something that they cannot afford not to fix? That's how you make yourself somebody who is irreplaceable and somebody who they actually need. So that brings us to the last step, which is just solving that problem and using your content as the solution to that problem that they have, right? If you can show them how your content takes them from that painful position where they can't afford not to fix to their dream outcome, and you understand that and you're able to articulate to them, then of course it's going to do our number one goal of what our entire email is for, which is just to start a conversation, to get them interested, intrigued, and curious so that they start a conversation with you. And that, my friend, is the entire point of exposure, to create visibility, reach, and just overall access for your company to get in front of the exact people that you can serve and can solve a problem for. That's how you manufacture exposure. So then what's left? Well, once you close the deal, then you just have to do a good job that actually gets results. And most people are like, okay, build portfolio content. I'll shoot, photos for them or videos for them or whatever. But guess what? You have to create content that actually gets a tangible business result. I'm talking like a better ROAS on their ad spend. I'm talking better engagement, more sales, more bookings, whatever it is, doesn't really matter, but you have to create business results with your content. And again, that's how you become irreplaceable. So then the next question is, well, Nash, how do you know how well this is performing? Well, you're a human. Just have a conversation with them. Ask them how the campaign's doing. Look at their Instagram. See the stuff that they posted from you as opposed to the other stuff. See what percentage higher of engagement it is, stuff like that, just so you can start to build these metrics, build this case for yourself as an expert in the type of content that you create so that you can pump that back into your original messages, into your original outreach, and you can show future clients exactly how you're the expert that can help them solve their problem and get to their dream outcome using your content. Then if you're getting great results, the client's happy, all this kind of stuff, then you can take it even another level further and ask them for a referral and say, hey, do you know anyone else who would need this type of content, would need these kind of results? And if you do, I can give you a little commission based on you referring me to them. And then you just do this process over and over and over again, and you start implementing team members to help you out in systems and processes to make some of this automated. And ultimately, all you want to do is get your clients incredible results and you get paid extremely well. And ultimately, that's what I help my creator clients do, which is build build out a system exactly like this to manufacture exposure so that exposure is not really the problem anymore. It's just how do you scale this to the level that's sustainable? Because if you're taking on too many clients by yourself, then, you know, it's kind of tough. But you got to start with understanding what kind of clients you can serve, what problems they have, and how to actually price yourself to be able to get in front of them so that you actually can scale. So if that sounds like you, click the link in the description below to book in a call with me and we'll see if I can help you scale. Or if you want, you can shoot me a DM over on Instagram at Nash and we can chat through that to see if I can help you as well. But if you like this video, go ahead and check out the rest of the videos on my YouTube channel. Give it a subscribe because we talk about the stuff that most photography YouTube channels don't talk about at all. Things like pricing, offers, like how to get in front of your potential clients, all that kind of stuff that's vitally important for you to be able to grow your business is basically on my channel. So go ahead and check those out. Like this video if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.